There are some things I just don't get about the World Wide Web. It seems like it brings out sometimes the crazy in people. One of the things that I just don't get, because I run a blog, www.shawnsjames.blogspot.com, is how people will get butthurt over a blog. And what's even crazier is that they'll get butthurt over a blog that is maybe 2 or 3 years old. I mean, right now I have people coming back and commenting about blogs that I wrote back in 2011 and 2012. Still getting upset and still getting angry. And what is sad is they don't understand that a blog is just an opinion. It is just somebody's personal views regarding a certain subject. Now, yes, you can have feelings about it and you can rebut about it, but if you strongly disagree with the points in anybody's piece, there's a red X at the left hand side on the Mac, on the right hand side of the PC, and you can just go up and click the red X and call it a day. But some people, they don't understand that if you don't like the views on that page, again, the red X is right there. There are 3 trillion or 4 trillion web pages out here with content that you can agree with. And what's even sillier about it is you don't even understand how much time you're wasting continuing to argue with someone over the views they put on their own personal page. And to even get upset about a page that a guy did, a blog he did 2, 3, 4 years ago, it's not going to change that person's views. Now, I've done blogs like Why Real Men Avoid Single Mothers, Why 70% of Black Women Are Single, and Why Black Women Will Be Single for the Rest of Their Lives. And what I'm finding is that people continue to get upset over these blogs. And these blogs are 2, 3, some of them even 4 years old, and people are still getting upset about them. And this is just sad. Um, I have moved on past these blogs, and now I'm writing more stuff that's more comic book industry related, more fantasy related, and trying to make efforts to try to reach people through African American fantasy fiction. I still do men's issues, but I just don't do them as much, and I still am going to do men's issues. But I look at it as if you're looking at a blog from 2, 3, 4 years ago, that's a problem, and you're still getting upset about it. That's a problem. And what's even crazier that I find is that you have people who will sit there and then, after not liking a certain blog, continue to read more blogs or continue to follow the page. I'm like, this is insane. I mean, I've traveled all over the World Wide Web and I've read pages from atheists. And me being a Christian, I've read atheist pages, I've watched atheist videos. I've right now I'm watching a lot of goth videos and doing research on goths for the Smith-Dorella novel. And I've seen all sorts of different views. I've watched read the gay people's web pages, and I just took their content as their opinion, their views, and that was it. I didn't get personal. I wasn't trying to convince anybody that their lifestyle was wrong or their opinion was wrong. I just took it as, hey, this is this guy's personal page. This is their opinion. If I like the content, I'll continue to come back and continue to watch the content or continue to read the content. But if these views are not the views that I am, interested in, I'm just going to hit that red X and keep moving because life is too short to spend going back and forth and arguing with people about the stuff on their own personal page. Everybody on the World Wide Web can get a personal page via Blogger, YouTube, or any other social media, and that's their page. And because we live in America and we have the right to a First Amendment, they have a right to put whatever they want on their page as long as it's not obscene and does not violate, the policies of that webmaster. They have the right to put that on there. And if you disagree with that content, again, there's a red X at the top of the screen, and there's hundreds of other, channels and videos for you to watch, and there's hundreds of other pages for you to visit. But what I find that's baffling is that people keep coming back to a page that they don't like or a YouTube channel that they like, and they continue to look for these responses, and it shows how dysfunctional a lot of people actually are. I mean, if I disagree with somebody's content, then I just say, okay, that's his opinion. You know what? I'm just gonna move on. I'm not gonna keep coming back and waiting for this guy to keep responding or try to continue to, keep an argument going. I go, this is this person's opinion, They're entitled to their opinion. If I don't like the content on their page, then I'm just going to move on. I'm not going to continue to try to argue and fuss with people over the content on their page. And I'm not going to go into ad hominem attacks because they present an opinion I don't like. And what I even find that's even more insane than just, going to pages you don't like and continuing to visit them is that some people, like I've had with this on my blog recently, a guy, with this issue, is that the person saw that I was doing more comic and other types of blogs. They've been going back to old blogs to, to continue to comment and continue to argue, and they don't think that I don't know it's them, but I can just sit there and look at the syntax and the spelling patterns and the words that they're using and just tell this is this person yet again. And it's just something that it just hit me in the head of because David Carroll talked about it, and he said that this is what they do. That you block them, you'll ban them, and they'll be back again, with a new username and coming back to your page to continue to harass you, thinking that arguing and fussing is going to change the person's opinion. This is the person's opinion. This is their page. They have a right to that opinion. This is the United States of America. And under our Constitution, everybody has a right to present their opinion. And if you don't like the opinions expressed on that page, you can just, or that video, or that web channel, you just, again, find that red X on the left-hand side on the Mac, left-hand side on the Mac, and the right-hand side on the PC, hit the red X and keep moving because, time is time is very precious, and you really shouldn't waste it arguing with someone on the World Wide Web over an opinion on their own page. If you don't like a person's opinion, you just find another page to go to. That has been my policy since I've been on the internet in 2000, and I've traveled all over this World Wide Web over the last 15 years. And I've seen everything from gays to goths to atheists to all sorts of stuff. And if I didn't like a page, and I didn't like the content on that page, I just stopped going to that page. But some people seem to have like some sort of issue. Either they have low IQ or some sort of mental health issue, and they keep coming back to pages they don't like, and they keep getting upset over pages that they don't like and content that they don't like. And if you keep going back to somebody's page, like I saw on a Facebook meme, if you keep going back to somebody's page to continue to argue and to fuss, and you say you don't like that page, then maybe you're a fan of that page. Because people who don't like something, they don't go out and seek that out. Like, for example, I don't like butterscotch. I don't go out and buy butterscotch candies. So, and I don't go out trying to try to make a campaign to ban butterscotch or to attack people who like butterscotch. I go, hey, I don't like butterscotch. You like butterscotch. I'm going to move on. If I don't like somebody's videos or somebody's blog page or somebody's web page, I just stop going to that page. It's just simple as that. Because there are many web comics I stopped going to go visit because I didn't agree with the content. I really didn't like it. I thought it was kind of slow. So I stopped going to their page, or they just stopped making comics altogether, and I just stopped going there. And it was simple as that. If you don't like the content, you just leave. If you don't like somebody's web page, you just don't keep coming back and then going back, which is like doing crazy stuff like going back to old articles looking for an argument. If you see this person has moved on, they've changed their tone, and you don't like the content, then you just go and you need to change and move on, because that's what normal people do. We move on. And I changed the tone of my blog over the last year. I've been focusing more on comics because that's something I'd like to get into. I'd like to expand from African American fantasy and go into, writing comics, and that's something I'd like to do. And I've been writing more about the comic book industry and a little less about black issues, especially black issues. And I write about men's issues here and there, but, people are still getting bent out of shape and still out of, getting bent out of shape and getting upset over old material, and still looking for an argument, still looking for a fight, still looking for something to fuss about regarding old material that, that's in the past. And, you just have to leave it in the past. This is what I do. What I'm doing now is what I'm focusing on now, and I'm urging, readers of the blog and people who watch my channel to focus on what's on now, because what I did a month ago is over with. What I did 2 months ago is over with. What I did a year ago is over with. The information may be useful, but to continue to argue and fuss over somebody's opinion, and then you're not even looking at the date of the video going, oh, wait a minute, that was a video from 2 years ago. Or wait a minute, that was a blog from 3 years ago. Why am I still getting upset over old content that this guy has pretty much moved on from? I mean, sometimes when I'm watching other YouTube channels and I discover somebody's old videos, I go, oh, that's a 2010 video or that's a 2011 video, and I accept it and I go, okay, that's an old video. Let me go click on their channel and see what they're producing right now. And sometimes I find that people's views change and their ideas change, and they're doing different things. And this is what people need to understand, regarding this World Wide Web, that people's views change, their opinions change, and sometimes we just move on. Like when I was doing a lot of the issues regarding men's issues, and I talked a lot about black women. That was something I did as far as early 2014, but now I have moved on from that. After I wrote the book Why 70% of Black Women Are Single, I put a period at the end of it, and now I'm moving on to other concepts, and I'm moving in a different direction right now with my publications and with my blog. I have no time to sit here and continue to argue, gender war semantics or about silly things such as the ongoing about this white supremacy nonsense that these pro-blacks want to continue to argue about. I'm about moving forward and trying to improve the quality of my life and trying to present, positive stories about the African American experience in my publications. I have no time to continue to get into it with people who want to continue, baiting and getting into these long rants and arguments. I mean, to me, that's just a waste of time. And time, again, is precious, because once a second is gone, you can't get that second back, and that's time out of your life you're taking that you could be using for more productive matters. And when you waste time, it's just sad. I mean, I feel that if it's just not worth my time to argue and fuss and go back and forth with people, because it gets tiring after a time. Now, I may reply to a comment here and there, I may rebut something, but eventually I see where this is going, nowhere, and I'm going to leave it right where it is. Like, there was previously on this YouTube video I did called where I checked the so-called pro-black authority. I presented some points on one commenter, and then they came at me with the old "what's the solution?" And when I saw where this was going, I decided, you know what, I'm just going to put a period at the end of this and move on. Because when I see the "what's the solution?", when I see somebody asking me this type of paradox question, I know that it's a trap for the paradox trap, a paradox trap. And in the case of the paradox trap, this is where a person asks you a question, and every answer you give them will always be wrong. And when you're in the paradox trap, you're going to keep trying to convince this person that you have a solution when they really don't want a solution. What they want you to do is to stop talking about the problem so that they can launch into their shaming language and then tell you that you're an Uncle Tom and all this other stuff. And I saw where that was going, and that's why I put a period at the end of it. And when it comes down to the blog now, with the written side in the comments section, I'm learning how to, put a period at the end of things. When I saw this person trying to continue this argument and keep things going, I just shut down the comments section of this old 3-year-old blog stating why black women would be single for the rest of their lives. I just decided, I'm going to close that section, or that comment section, because I'm just not. I did write a comical, section because I wanted men to learn how the behaviors of a simp from it. But now that I see that this is the same person, because of the syntax and the words that they were using, I knew it was the same. I started to realize this was the same troll, and all they wanted to do was keep an argument going. And what I'm gonna do, I hate closing the comment section, but I might have to do that again, because I really don't want to deal with internet trolls, and I don't want to deal with drama. And I'm going in a different direction, and it gets old. Some people, they like arguing and going back and forth with people on the World Wide Web, but I see that as being extremely pathetic. I mean, if you've got to argue with someone thousands of miles away, there's so many things you could do, better things you could do with your time, and so many better things you could do with your life that you don't. It's just sad to see people just do things like that. I mean, this World Wide Web is one of the greatest tools known to man, and it can, help you build an audience and help people, you know, thousands and even thousands of miles away. But some people just see it as a tool, see it as something that they use for arguing, complaining, and they're not really, focusing on doing things that are constructive because this is a great tool and it can be used to build wealth, it can be used to build businesses, it can be used to take your life to the next level and help others get their lives to the next level. That's what this World Wide Web can be used for, but some people, they want to turn it into a sewer, and the best thing to do with people like that is, block them, ignore them, and move on because they're going to be here arguing with somebody else, but you have the power to say that, you know what, I don't have to argue with this person. I'm not going to keep going into it with them. And if I put content on a page and it's really old content, and you have to go dig that deep into content, looking for trouble, it really shows how sad and pathetic you are and how sad and pathetic um, your life is because people who are doing things or living in the present, they're not going to be digging in the past looking for something old to argue and complain about. They're going to be focused on, trying to meet the goals they're trying to reach today. And they're going to be trying to, take their lives to the next level and move themselves forward. Nobody's going to be sitting here, getting angry about something somebody wrote 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago on an old web page and getting all hot and upset about it. What they're going to do is say, look, that's that person's opinion, that's that person's views. I may not go to that page anymore. I may just hit the red X and move on because you know what, my time is too precious to waste arguing and going back and forth with people, in other parts of the world regarding an opinion that they have regarding material or something that doesn't really matter in their own lives. I mean, this what I use when I write blogs. I wrote them to help people, and even those blogs that I mentioned, those blogs helped a lot of people, men and women, get their lives right and get their see things from a different perspective. And the reason why I wrote those blogs was to help people, you know, do things with their lives. I really wanted to help people because when I was working at the Strive program 15 years ago, we had used a tough love approach to help people, and sometimes when we showed people things about themselves in those group interactions and held that mirror to their face so they could see the dysfunctional behavior they were participating in, some of those people finally got it. But what I see on the World Wide Web is that some people, they just want to keep an argument going. They're upset about nothing. And instead of them understanding that we live in a world of people with different views and different opinions, they want their opinion to be the only opinion. And if you disagree with their opinion, then they want to try to destroy everything about you or destroy everything that you do. Or they want to just continue to try to argue with you on and on and on. And when you walk away, they get upset. And that's not my. I believe if you getting upset about an opinion, that's not really my problem. What it is that you just have to get used to hearing different opinions and different views, and understand that not everybody is going to agree with you, and not everybody's going to like what you have to say. And just because somebody presents a difference of opinion doesn't mean that you can get personal and start attacking people. And it really, that type of behavior shows immaturity, and it shows that the other person, how much power you're giving them. Because if I don't like something like butterscotch, I'm not going to keep going back to the store and asking for it. I'm not going to continue to keep attacking, going on campaigns to destroy it. I'm just going to say, hey, that's butterscotch. You know what? I don't like it. I'm going to move on, and I'm going to go get something I do like York peppermint patties. That's what I'm going to do, and that's what I'm urging other people to do. If you see a view on the World Wide Web, on a web page or a YouTube video, just click out of it and get on with your life. That'll be the best thing you could ever do.